So, Gemara from the two dots. Tana Rabbanan. Mevarachim Bircat Chatanim bebeis Chatanim. So, very simple. We bless the Bircat Chatanim whenever they are in the house of the Chatanim. Rashi, he doesn't say what the Bircat Chatanim are. So the Bircat Chatanim, they're going to be the Sheva brachos. And again, why they call Sheva brachos? Because they're for 7 days. Because as we'll see, there's only 6 brachos. Rashi says, "Bebeis Chatanim kshenichnesa lechupa nesuyin." So what's Rashi doing here? I would think the base of Chatanim is that you only make Sheva brachos in the house of the Chassan. Comes Rashi to say it's a zman. The Gemara is going to tell you it's zman kshenichnesa lechupa nesuyin, when they enter into the chuppah of nesuyin. So the time of the chuppah is when you make the Sheva brachos. But so the pashtus would be Birchas Chatanim. You say it you only make Sheva brachos in the base Chatanim. That's what the Gemara says. Rashi says no, it's on the time of it's at the shas of the chuppah, so it's a time thing. This is the Gemara in Sukkah. That was a 25b. Amar Rebbe Ava Bar Zavda Amar Rav Chatan v'hashoshvinen v'kol b'nei chuppah p'torim min Sukkah kol Sheva. So the Chatan has to get married before Chag, and here since he gets the whole 7, it would have to be Erev Chag. So the Chatan gets married on Erev Chag. He and the Shushvinim and all the Bnei Chuppah, everyone involved in the Chuppah, are potter from the Sukkah for 7 days. That doesn't really make any sense. Why is he potter from the Sukkah for 7 days? He got married, just go to the Sukkah. My time mishum de boy lemichadi v'leichu b'Sukkah, because he has to have the simcha and go to the sukkah. Since he has to be misameach in the sukkah, so therefore there's no you don't do the Sheva brachos. Sorry, since he needs to be machad and go to the sukkah, so therefore he's bought in the sukkah because he needs to have the simcha and the yichud. The lechtu b'sukkah, so let them have the yichud in the sukkah. Ein simcha ele b'chuppah. So you can only have the simcha in the chuppah. So there's only simcha in the chuppah. So therefore, since there's no simcha in the chuppah, you can't have simcha in the sukkah. V'leichu b'sukkah, v'lechte b'chuppah. So why don't you eat in the sukkah and have the simcha in the chuppah? Because you need the simcha in the chuppah. So you have your simcha in the chuppah, but just eat in the sukkah. So again, you're being potter from the sukkah here. So just go eat in the sukkah, do everything else outside the sukkah. Ein simcha ele b'mokum suda. Since there's no simcha ele b'mokum suda, therefore it has to be in the simcha of the chatan and kala has to be at the time of the suda. So again, that's why we have the Sheva brachos at the time of the suda. So any time that you have the simcha, then you can have the suda. There's only simcha ele b'mokum suda, and therefore you can't do you can't eat in the sukkah and have simcha elsewhere. So then we'll just make the chuppah in the sukkah. So why are you doing the chuppah outside the sukkah? Just have the chuppah in the sukkah, eat in the sukkah, and have your simcha in the sukkah. Abai Amar Misham Yichud, so that you can't really have yichud in the sukkah. You're not going to have there's 3 walls in the sukkah. You don't have real yichud in the sukkah. So if you're going to spend the time with your wife, your newly married wife, in the sukkah, you won't have real yichud there because you're exposed on someone's roof. Rabba Amar Mishum Tsar Chatan. So the Tsar of the Chatan is that so that he's embarrassed to play with his wife, so that there's that creates Tsar for the Chatan. Now here Tosfos brings Ein Simcha Ele B'chuppah, which is the Gemara is saying that you can't have the simcha in your sukkah, your suda, because the simcha is only in the chuppah. Mashmikan de'im yoytze chatam michuppato afilo kalto imo. So the chatan goes out of his chuppah even if his wife is with him. The holchem, so both of them go to eat in another house. Ein mevarachim shesimcha b'monim v'lo birchas chatanim. So therefore, you could only make Sheva brachos. Here says Tosfos, you can only make Sheva brachos in the actual place where the chatan and the kala are in the chuppah. So anytime that you leave the chuppah, there's no Sheva brachos, even if both of them go. Kevin de'ein simcha ele b'chuppah. In the first parak of Ketuvot, we say Nami mevarachin berachas chatanim bebeis chasanim. So therefore, it's clear in the Gemara that you're saying the beis chasanim in the house of the chasanim, which is the chuppah. They would do the chuppah. We kind of do the chuppah in some random hole somewhere, and then you have your house that you go back to. But they would do the chuppah in the house in which they'd be living. So kind of the house of the chatan after getting married would be the beis chatanim, and that's the only place that you can make sheva brachos. Therefore, if you go to a restaurant, go to someone else's house, you can't make sheva brachos. Now, Rashi isn't holding this because Rashi holds this diuk in Kidushin. Birchas chatan bebeis chatanim is talking about the zman. You make it at the chuppah, the zman of the chuppah, not some other time. There's mashma davka b'mokum chuppah tehu beis chatanim. Mihu'ein raya misham, but you can't have a raya from Zanim Beis. The Dilma Lafukim made Rabbi Yehuda. So we'll see Rabbi Yehuda. He's going to basically say that you do Birchas Chatanim also at the time of Kidushin. So Ka'ati Da'amar Afa Beis Yisurin. So at the time of Yisurin, which is Kidushin, then therefore you Mevarech and the Sheva Brachos. But Tzarech Ledakdek Mahi Chuppah. So now we have to understand what exactly is a chuppah. Te'i b'mokum shebarcho techila brachos nusuyin. If you're going to say the chuppah is the place where you make the brachos nusuyin, you make the original sheva brachos, korele chuppah. That's what's a chuppah. Sometimes afilu barachu ve'ir mevarchu nusuyin. Sometimes this is a bit like what we do. People have they go to public parks and have a chuppah in the park. So there you make. So that's not the mokum chuppah. So kaha'am Reuben ve'en yichulim likanes bebayis ele mokum. So that if you have tons of people, if you have, let's say 1,000 people go to the ICC to do their weddings, they have like 1,000, 2,000 people. You can't really have that in your house. So therefore, you go have it in a public place. Ele mokum ikar yeshivas chatan v'kala kari lechuppah. So the ikar place where the chatan and kala are sitting, that is called the chuppah. The law mokum. So you made it akrai let's say you go to a restaurant and you're there for the simcha of the chatan and kala and everyone's there, you cannot make sheva brachos, says Tosfos. Sham mevarachim, so Sham being the place of which is the beis chatanim, which is the ikar yeshiva chatan and kala, there you do the birchas chatanim called sheva. So there's the Tosfos. So now we have the Tosfos says you can only say sheva brachos in the house of the chatan. Rashi doesn't hold of this shita because he's holding that it is Zman. It's talking about Zman. So the Rosh, so Ein Raish Ein Levarech Brachas Satan B'Mokim Shechatim V'Kala Cholkim Le'echu B'Bayis Acher. So Rosh is going to be Chorek now and be a bit more mekel. He says that there's no raya that you can't go to someone else. The Hachi Parusha Haka Ein Simchas Eile B'Chuppah Kevin She'ein Daito Lachaniya Chuppah Eile Kedei Lechu B'Sukkah. So that the way that it's set up in the Gemara and Sukkah is that the Chatan and Kala are in their house, they're in the chuppah that's even they're downstairs, then they move from their arai, upstairs to the Sukkah in order to move back down after the food, in order to go back to their chuppah. So they're only going to a arai place, and that's why you can't do it. So after that, they're going to remove the chuppah. So that if you get up en masse and go somewhere else, so that's also called your chuppah. So we went in the middle of a Sheva Brachos week. We went to London until the end of them. So there it was like an oiker. Your oiker dirason, you go to a different place. So there, if we went to a friend's house in Israel, we weren't allowed to do Sheva Brachos. However, if you oiker the whole house and then you move somewhere else, so then that's called you can go somewhere else. Here the Ran, this is in Sukkah again. Koisef betoisves mahash minin shem yetze chatem mechub tofilo kalto imo v'hochen le'elchu b'bayis acher ein mevarachin shesimcha b'mon v'lo birchas chatanim. Dein simcha ele b'chuppah. So now this is the Ran, it's mashma, even in that chotzer itself, because that chotzer itself is where the sukkah is going to be. If it's not on your roof, it'll be in the chotzer. So even there, and it's right. So that's this one bracha that you say, which you haven't really got into. Daha miki rami she'ari ba'isra. Again, this is the Gemara later on. The Kevin Shekei Nishlomer. So now the Ran is saying, but based on Gemara's, we'll see later that, and again he's chaylik on the Tosfos here, that even in a place that's not the Mokum Chopa, we give the bracha of the Chatan do the Sheva brachos. The bracha avogab demishum simcha ka'asiya lo tali b'chuppah. That when do we do Sheva brachos where there is simcha, things like panach chodashis, again coming attractions. So simcha that is based on why and when we do the Sheva brachos and not in the Mokum. The haka kamrin into ikar simcha leisa eila b'chuppah. And this is what we're saying, that the ikar the simcha isn't only in the chuppah, but kach nochagim hayom levarech berachas chatanim b'chol achas mibate chachatuna kol zman shechatana or chakala sham. So then the Ram brings down the minhag today that we do the berachas chatanim. So if you go to your friend's house for Sheva brachas, and the point of you going there, and everyone's there for your simcha, to have simcha of the chatan and the kala, to be misameach and to have a party because someone got married. So there the Ran says that's called, that you make Sheva brachos there, and that's good. Now, there's a big chiddush here in the Ran, because he says, kol zaman shechachatan or hakala. So either one. According to the Ran, you have the chatan somewhere, you can make Sheva brachos. You have the kala somewhere completely different. You only need one of them, one or the other, in order to make the Sheva brachos. And the ritva, and this is the ritva in Kidushin here, so there the ritva is holding that you need both of them, chatan v'kala, but the Ran holds you only need one of them. So the Ran really is bringing down the minhag we have today, which is where anytime that you have simcha specifically for the chatan and the kala, there you can make Sheva brachos. But according to the Tosfos, that's not so clear. Now, weiter in the Gemara. So you say Sheva brachos in the Beis Chatanim, which you saw. What does that mean? So Rabbi Yehuda Omer Afa Beis HaIsurim Mevarachin Oitza. So Rabbi Yehuda is saying that even when you are doing Kidushin, you make Sheva brachos. So it's a big chiddush that you make Sheva brachos in the Kidushin, because you should make the Kidushin brachos in the Kidushin and the Chatan brachos at the time at the Chatan, the Beis Chatanim, at the time when you're getting the suin. Now Amar Abayu Behuda Shanu. So Abayu is already saying that there's no maklokas here, and that Yehuda Shanu Mipnei Shemiyached Ima, because in Yehuda that they are miyached with her. So af bebeisa isurin kashemekadesh, when you do Kidushin, mevarchin kol brachas chatanim kedem afar. So we do all 7 brachas. As explained, I think it's explained later. They said what the 7 brachas are. When you have Kidushin, then you do the Sheva brachas. Now this we don't do this, because we do the Kidushin and then we do the Nesuin. So Amar Abaye be Yehuda Shanu. The Rabbi Yehuda be Yehuda Shanu. So what Rabbi Yehuda was saying, I was talking about Yehuda, Shemiyachadimo, be Erusin. So when they were in Kidushin, Kadei Sheyeh Libo Gaspo, Kadala Kaman. So we're going to say that in order to have this level of chiba between the Chatan and the Kala, they go into Yechud before the Nesuyin. So they have Kidushin, then they have Yechud, and then they have Nesuyin. Lefikach Mavarachin Birchas Chatanim Mitchila. Therefore, we did the brachas of Chatan, do Sheva brachas Mitchila. De Tanya b'Mesechet Kala below bracha asura labayla kanida. You have in Mesechet Kala, again that's one of the 12 Gaonic. Kala below bracha surah labala kanida. If you're getting married and the wife doesn't have Sheva brachas, then she's also to the Baal like Anida is. So now here, so we have to understand really what's going on. So we give him the bracha. So how does the bracha help? So Tosfos here, Rabbi Yehuda Omer af bebeisa eisurim mevarchin atom mepnei shemiyachadimo. V'amrinan kala below bracha asura labayla kanida. So here the Tosfos is bringing it down. Where Rashi says that in Mesechet Kala that you need the bracha in order to have to be in yichud. But the fisha pamim ba'aleya shelo l'shem chuppah. So here Tosfos says that there's going to be bia. Tosfos is chayshish for bia. If you have bia shelo l'shem chuppah, now these words shelo l'shem chuppah are taken out by the Rashash. Rashash says these words aren't supposed to be here. If you leave them in, a lot of Meforshim say you leave them in, that there's like a bia for chuppah, the bia is like nesuyin. So the Tosfos would hold that the bia is a nesuyin if you leave those words in. So oisim bracha mitchila kadesha tehei kala bebracha. So Tosfos is saying here that we have what it says here, kala below bracha is asura. Therefore you give her a bracha and then she's mutter to having bia. So what exactly is this issue of kala below bracha? Now Rashi learns that the whole issue is going to be yichud. Rashi doesn't say anything about bia. That there's going to be yichud and not that the libo gaspo, that they are close together, and therefore you have the berchas ketanim, so that in order that they can have yichud. Tosfos is worried that they're going to have bia. So we have to work out what does Rashi gain by having the bracha, and what does Tosfos gain by having the bracha, because they're obviously doing completely different things. Now, here's the Rav Elishiv. Can we have this question? What exactly are they doing in Yehuda? So Leber Indian Ma Shayach Bracha Al. So here in the Rav Elishiv, Yehuda Shanu, Mipnei Shem Yachadimo, Rishonim, so it's dealt with in the Shidim Mikubet says. Havium Yerushalmi, so it says in Yerushalmi. Shebeshashabu b'nei Yaakov l'kros avihem. So this is going back to the times of Yaakov at the end of the book of Bereshis, and they came to bury Yaakov. So Ba Esav and is complaining on the mokum of the burial on the cave of Machpelah. V'kam Yehuda v'horgu. And we have that what Dan, the son of Dan, killed him. But here, as we showed him, say that Yehuda killed Esav, and since Yehuda killed Esav representing the Romans, Yehuda representing the place of Rome, Lechem Gozru al Yehuda, specifically the place of Yehuda, where the tribe of Yehuda were dwelling. Shekol Besula Shetina say that every Besula that gets married, Tiba'al Lesudur Techila, that the captain, the head of the guards of the Romans would be boiled the Besula Techila. So he doesn't go in to say exactly what this yichud is doing. Just says yichud. So according to Tosfos, so then you have, it works quite nicely here, because all the basulas that get married in Yehuda, then they are boiled by the sergeant. So in Yehuda they would have yichud, and then the before the wedding, the Baal would have bia with his future wife, who he's already had Kidushin with, so it's the current wife before Nisuin. Then she would not be a Basula anymore, and therefore they'd escape the whole Gezerah, and therefore in Yehuda this is why they would act this way. According to Rashi, we don't have such a clean break. We have to see what exactly this Yichud is doing. But again, we have to see in Tosfos, how does the bracha help? So this is in the Me'iri. Ubi Yehuda haynoigin liyachad chachaltem v'kalim b'sha isurim. L'ba aleya miyad. So again, he's going that where he's going to be like Tosfos. Below ksuva, below chuppah. So again, a problem that Tosfos has is that there's no ksuva here. But I think Shina Mikabet says like B'diavad, in order to save the whole thing, that the Rabbanon were makel on the Kesuva, and she'll have a Kesuva soon anyway at the time of isurin. Ela shehayichud b'makom chuppah. So here, this is for Shitas Rashi, that the yichud is the chuppah. Lahatir biyazu. Oh, sorry, this is for this should be for Toys. Anyway, we have the yichud is mabok b'makom chuppah. So the yichud itself is the yichud is the nesuyin. So again, one of the places which we see that there's, I think it's 5 suffek nesuyins. One of them is the yichud room. So the yichud itself is the chuppah. The chuppah is one of the nesuyins, but you can have nesuyin through the yichud. So lehiyot biyazu afal pisha lo l'shem Kidushin hayisa v'hayu noigin ba mipnei gezerus v'shmadim shahayu sham al haderach shem shakol b'sul hanisis tebal lehagmon. So we had this before in the everybody, but we saw in the Rav Elishiv talking just about in Yehuda. So you would have a hava between them. Ad she'im chas v'shalom yira ba shum oines she'daha ahava ha'aris hakuka lo belev v'shalo tifete l'shum adam. So that we have again, we saw this before in the Toises that the first bia is where you have the connection. The kli of the woman is made with the first bia. So therefore, that they have this yichud in order that the lave of the woman is with the man. Imken al de oin is gomor v'lo haderech shamri. So like the same as hadra ein isha goris bris ela lamisha asakli. We talk about tiknu levarach sheva brachos af. So again, this is the idea that the woman will be after the man that she's having even yichud and kol shekain bia. We talk about they have that they were metakin to brach sheva brachos even at the time of Isurin. In miyad b'chuppah called koldehu. So the yichud is like a chuppah koldehu because they said the kalabalo bracha is a surah. Lebala kanida. So the so the Meiri is explaining here that you have that the yichud is a type of chuppah, and therefore you have the bracha before the yichud, and therefore the two together. Therefore she should be married. Now the
sorry, before we go on, just to clarify shitas that we're holding. So when Rashi is talking about chuppah, he talked about zman chuppah, right? That was the thing that we were talking about with Rashi.
But we're saying that in Yehuda they would make the bracha. They would make the bracha even at the time. So according to Rashi, even the time of Kidushin.
Got you.
And the Kidushin happened, and the Kidushin happened well before the time of chuppah, and then they had, so they were in yichud. Now the Gemara later on says that the yichud happened just before the chuppah, but here we see Toisus is worried about that they're going to have a bia shaloloshem chuppah. So this is a bia. So this is a bia, but this is a bia that's going to happen in between Kidushin and chuppah. So it's going to. So you have the 12 months.
I see. So because
so
you
that
have erusin already,
and they are like mutter to be in yichud before nesuyin. So therefore, we're worried that they're going to have a yichud before the nesuyin and have bia or have something there. So therefore, by Tosfos, you have the bracha that allows you to then have bia with the woman, because that will then be the that will be.
So are we assuming at that point that the bia is l'shem like nesuin, and that's why that we have the brachot?
No, we'll have to see. We're not getting there yet. No.
Okay, here.
So in Rashi, we have that they're being yichud together. So this is the Beis Shmuel, which is a commentary on the Shulchan Aruch. So the Chora Kasha, Ma Mahani, Shaim Brachos Tahak Katzub B'Samach, Shaim Brachos Below Chuppah, Lo Mahani. So say to have the 7 brachos without the chuppah. So it's the same idea here. So how can we have the brachos without chuppah? It doesn't help. So how can we have the chuppah and then we do the 7 brachos later? V'yesh Lomer Al Pi Mashakal Varan, Reish Kidushin, Rambam Ach Kidushin Sarah Chuppah, Va'az Motor Lo Ba'aleya. Afilo Lo Hiskaren L'Shem Nesuin. So even if you didn't have kavana for nesuin, aval koidem a chuppah aser levo aleya. So you can't have bia before the chuppah. Shalol l'shem nesuin. So if you have, but so before the chuppah, it's also the vo'alei shalol l'shem nesuin. So the bia itself can be the nesuin, which would be like a yichud, but you can't have bia before the chuppah if it's not l'shem nesuin. Aval im kavanos l'shem nesuin, ein sarah chuppah. So im kain af l'das Rambam mutar levo'alei b'beis avia. So even according to the Rambam, you can go the via. Ela b'beis avia tzarich shiskaven l'shem nesuin. But in the house, you have to have kavan l'shem nesuin. So now the Tosis based on this works nicely because he's saying because sometimes they don't do it l'shem nesuin. Mordechai savar below brachos asura from the Sheva brachos v'sulo chashinen l'rishoi. So Mordechai said that without the brachos, she's asura. And therefore, so from that reason that we do the 7 brachas, and then we're not worried about the Rishoyim, that they don't have kavana l'shem nesuin. So therefore, you can make the brachas, and then from now on, you can be you're not worried about them not doing it without the brachas. Like it's a rasha that is going to not have kavana for nesuin. Kevadeka heter. So since you have a heter lifanav to just do it, so you give the brachas. Now, if you have the bia with the bia, so therefore they're married. So with the shem chuppah. Mihu ma shesvarle the hamordechai the kala below bracha asura kanida near the Rambam lo svarle ken. The Rambam doesn't hold by this. The ha kasav iris v'kanas lechuppah v'lo birach hareze noisa gemura. So he doesn't hold it without the brachas. He's holding that if you have the kanisa, it's good because he nida svarle de lo mahani. But if you get married under the chuppah with a nida, so it doesn't work. But if you marry her without the Rambam needs a chuppah that's roy lebia, and therefore if you marry a nida, it doesn't work. But if you marry someone without brachas, it does work. So therefore we say that the brachas are not miyakev according to the Rambam. So our chlamar is for le Rambam had to tani mesachik kala below bracha asura kanida hayinu chuppah. So bracha without kala without bracha is chuppah. So you don't need brachas at all. So v'nikra al shem bracha, and it's called shacha k'mashagas piskei mari. Aval brachas ein miyakavin mihu Rashi svarle compares Mordechai brachas mamish kamor. So Rashi's holding that is brachas mamish, and it's not you need the brachas and the chuppah. K'mashakasef reish kesuvas. So im lo brachos dina kanida. So if you don't have the brachas as neither kanida, mikom ve'ein lo toseva kesuva mihu afagav detani asura kanida. It's lav mamish kanida ubediyevid mahani chuppah. So by Rashi, that he holds that the bracha with the chuppah is matir. So once you have the yichud being the chuppah, so therefore the brachas are needed in order to matir the chuppah. So Rashi is gaining that you have the bracha, and then when they're in yichud, that yichud is the chuppah, and since the yichud is the chuppah, so then they're fully married in Yehuda, and therefore you can be in yichud, or you can be have be whatever you want to do. But since they're already married, so then that will maybe take away the what the hegmon are doing there.
So according to Tosos, then, so
we haven't got on to Tosos
okay,
yet.
Fine.
So here's the chalkas machokas again. He's the commentary in the Ebenezer on the side. So Mvarchen Zayin brachas. Pain yischadu. So you have to do the Sheva brachas, lest you come to be in yichud. Afogav de be'sir she'acher zeh katav she'ein brachas chatanim oisen nesuin. So even though the brachas chatanim don't make the nesuin, But when they are in yichud together, that is, so the brachas didn't make it nesuyin, but being in yichud, the yichud did who have a nesuyin. So therefore, them being in yichud is the nesuyin. Umotrislo achar habrachas. So the brachas will allow that the yichud will be the nesuyin. So the brachas plus the yichud is nesuyin. So you have, so that therefore you make the bracha at the time of Kidushin in Yehuda because they are mitjachid before the chuppah, and therefore you have the bracha plus the yichud for nesuyin. And that's all going to Shitas Rashi. Is that somewhat followable? But basically, Bekitzer, according to Rashi, he's only got the yichud that he's worried about. So why do the brachas help? Because the brachas will allow the yichud to be the nesuyin once you have the brachas before them. Because the brachas plus the yichud is the nesuyin, and then you have a heter gomer.
Even though the brachot are occurring later, right? It's because
the brachas are happening at the time of the nesuyin. So Gemara says the brachas of in Yehuda, the brachas of the time of Kidushin. So you're saying, why are we in the brachas of Kidushin? Rashi says, because they go into yichud. So now they go into yichud, since they've had the brachas already, that yichud is going to be the nesuyin. Kachai oisim b'Yehuda ve'ein isur ele chatan hadar b'beis acher uba al rusato b'beis avia inami denochol levala. So that's only if they don't have. So if they don't have, because he's in beis acher, there's no yichud. Since there's no yichud, so there's no nesuyin. Therefore, he's not allowed to have bia. With her. Now in the Tosfos, so in the Tosfos, the Reuven is going according to the Tosfos. Here, I know pi masha gatavti b'siman hakodem sheblo habrachas chaser adayin chelek nesuyin shehu hamitira lebia. So that the chilek of the nesuyin is the brachos, and that will allow the nesuyin. Shall brachos atzman hena nesuyin le'inyan zeh, because the brachos themselves are the nesuyin for this matter of being a mutter for having bia. So, therefore, again, it's in the middle of I'll give you parts of it. You can look at the rest of it. But the Ikar Svara coming out of Reb Reuven, the way he's explaining it, is that the brachos are the chilek of the nesuyin, and therefore Tosfos needs the brachas in order to matter the bia, because the brachas themselves are the nesuyin. So since the brachas are the chilek of the nesuyin, in order to matter the bia, therefore a kala without bracha is aser kanida, because she doesn't have this heter of nesuyin, because she doesn't have the chilek of the brachas in order to matter this part of the nesuyin. So therefore the brachas themselves are the nesuyin, or a chilek of the nesuyin in order to matter the bia. Therefore Tosfos needs, since some people have the bia shalol l'shem chuppah, so therefore you have to have the brachos in order to matter the bia, because that is the nesuyin itself. So since they don't have the nesuyin to the chuppah till later, therefore the brachos themselves are the nesuyin. So we have the yichud is the nesuyin, or it could be the nesuyin. You have the brachos could be the nesuyin, and then so again, when you get married, you got to have kavana. Of where these are going to where these are going to happen. When the Kidushin is happening, you should have in mind that this is nesuyin. So another is taking the veil off the woman, checking her. One is handing over the kesuva. So these are the points of the nesuyin. Now, back in the Gemara. Tanya idach mevarachim birchas chatanim bebeis chatanim. So you say the Sheva brachas in the place of birchas chatanim bebeis usurin. So that you don't say the birchas chatanim in the place of the chatanim. Now, my mevarech. What is this bracha of Kidushin? Now, anyone got married? Do you even remember there being a brachas Kidushin? How does a seder work? hagafen and then the bracha and then the ring? Or is it the bracha and then the hagafen and when do you drink?
At the end, you make another agafen.
No, there's one hagafen.
Or whatever, you drink at the end.
Yeah, but do you do it before or after the Nisuyin? So when you're making the Kidushin, right? So the Art Scroll marriage service, you have to say Bracha Ba apparently, because if you don't say that, then so Art Scroll says so you'll be different. Then the Masada Kidushin takes a cup of wine, Bripri Goffin. Then he says the Birchas of Kidushin. Is there a Chatima on the bracha? Don't know. And then you drink. The groom and the bride each drink, and then you say Heres Mikudeshesli. Now, an easy way to remember that you drink beforehand. Again, the Masada Kidushin is going to give it to you. When you get married, everything's going to be a blur, and it's going to what are you even doing here? So you just do whatever Masada Kidushin does for you, but the chassan has to drink first before saying Heres Mikudeshesli in order to get some Dutch courage. So that's how you know that you drink before you do it. So you say the Bripri Gop and then you make the bracha. So my mevarach. So Rabin bar Rav Ada v'Rabba bar Ada tarvehu mishmei de Rav Yehuda Amri Bruchat Hashem Elokeinu Melech Olam Asher Kidushin Mitzvah V'Tzivanu Al Ha'Rayis. So this is a very strange bracha. Should we say Asher Kidushin Mitzvah V'Tzivanu Al Ha'Kidushin? Right, we are commanded on the Arayis. Yeah, why are we commanded on Arayis? It doesn't make any sense. But also Lanu es Harusas, and you also us the Rusas, so that we say here what's going on in Yehuda, where they're having their way with the Rusas. The Hater Lanu es Nesuyas, and the latter who latters us on the Nesuyas al Yidei Chuppah v'Kedushin. So that's the bracha. Rav Acha B'Riya de Rava Messiah Ba Mishmei de Rav Yehuda Bruchat Hashem Mekadesh Yisrael al Yidei Chuppah v'Kedushin. So that's the end of the bracha. Man de lochata. So here we have so the first man Damar holds that there's no chatima, and then the second man Damar holds there is a chatima. So man de lochata midi de have a brachos perus or bracha mitzvahs. So who does chatim, because we see that the brachos perus doesn't have a chatima. So to here we don't have a chatima, just like the perus and the mitzvahs. And the man de chatim midi de have a kedusha, and then he who it does have a chatima, it is it's like kedusha. Now, how do we? What's the halacha here? You can see the little hay here, right? How do we post it? Do we say bracha? Do we have a chatima in the kedushin bracha? Anyone married? Do you remember at all what was going on at the time? When you get married, you're gonna see is he going to have a chatima or not? So here we have a portion about all the Rishonim ask. We say we have safek bracha lakula. We should not be saying this chatima because safek bracha lakula. Why do we poskin that we do? Now, we see that Rav Yehuda is here and Travaihim Mishmei de Rav Yehuda. See, both of them are saying this in the name of Rav Yehuda. One did not hear Rav Yehuda make the chatima, and one did hear him make the chatima. He didn't hear that Rav Yehuda did. Rav Yehuda never said, "Don't make a chatima." Rav Yehuda he just never heard Rav Yehuda making a chatima. So therefore, since it's like the lakin, it's not a makalokis here. It's just one of the Talmidim heard him say it, and one of them didn't hear him say it. So the lack that he didn't hear him say it is not a proof that he doesn't say it. Therefore, we hold that Rav Yehuda does say it. So therefore, we hold at this end. Now, so Rashi here, Vasalanu Esa Arusas, Midrabanan. So the Arusas are also to us Midrabanan, because it says in Sanhedrin, it says in Avodah Zarah that they were gozru that all Gili Arayas are also in Yechud, but they were gozer on Yechud ala Penuya. So Penuya is that there's not very few Penuyas around today, because if you see a woman walking around, she's either married or in Nida. because women don't. Again, a woman who's in need is asr as a riot. So a penuya who is not a nida. V'af asru lo hetiru ad shetikanes lechupa ubebracha. And even an arusa, they're not matter until they are tikanes lechupa ubracha. So here, Rashi is redefining here what we saw before, that the kala is below bracha surah labayla kanida. Rashi here is saying that it's chuppah and it's bracha. Tosfos only learns that it's bracha. Says that it's shalol l'shem chuppah. So there's no chuppah here. Or some bracha because there's no chuppah. But Rashi here is learning that kala below bracha is kala below bracha v'chuppah, which is really the more pasha, because why is she mutter with the bracha without the chuppah? So here, so after Rasul alater actually takes the chuppah uba bracha. Can refer as kala below bracha surah labayla kanida. So here Rashi is defining that bracha is chuppah and bracha. So Tosfos says no. This bracha is fine without the yichud, without the chuppah, because the yichud itself is going to make it that the bracha is a chelak of the nesuyin, and therefore you don't need the chuppah and you can have the nesuyin. But Rashi is holding here that the bracha plus the yichud is what's making the nesuyin, not the bracha as a chelak of the nesuyin. At the Rabbanan Nami Mevarachin, it's Ivan of Arsalano Kedasan Bener Chanukah. So we also have, especially now he's bothered by, what does it say, the Asher of Asher Kiddushanu? Why does it say Asher Kiddushanu? V'tzivanu. If it's a Rabbanan, it says no, we have that all the time on there. Now specifically Ner Chanukah, because that Ner Chanukah is one of the 7 Rabbanans. Instead of the 7 Rabbanans, obviously there's lots of Rabbanans. The 7 Rabbanans that are completely completely made up, in the sense that there's no makor. So you have, for example, Shabbos candles is one of them, Ner Chanukah is one of them. So it's not like a deraisa that they're hanging off. It's like their own derabbanan. So Ner Chanukah is not based off of some type of deraisa. It doesn't have like a makor deraisa or a shorish deraisa. It's a derabbanan din that we still say asher kiddushan mitzvah. Behetir lanu, it's a nesuyas lanu. So here. Behetir lanu is a bit of a strange lashon. Again, the whole thing's a bit strange. Behetir lanu es nesuyas. Married women are not mutter to you. Only your married woman, only the person that you nesu. So I think people add in lanu here in the girsa. Art scroll have nesuyas lanu. So Rashi here is bothered by this Lanu es nisui teinu, our nisuyin, and nisuyas lanu. Rashi has the lanu there. Alidei chuppah v'kedushin. So that the lanu here, it's not in the Gemara, it's on our girsa. But I think the Ran might have the girsa of lanu, but the art scroll has lanu. So if you don't have the chatima, it's like Birchas Perus, Borei Peri Ha'etz, or Birchas Mitzvahs, Al Hashchita, Al Hamila. So these are mitzvahs that don't have a chatima. Brachot Hashem, Al Shchita. Now, is Kidushin a mitzvah?
No.
So why would it be like a Birchas Mitzvah? See, here, the Gemara Lachor is medaminate like a Birchas Mitzvah. At least the man Damar who holds that you don't make a chatima. The Kevin de Kula Chada Hoida he ain't hefsek be kasha bin time. So there's no hefsek in something else in between them. V'lo by chatima kadamrim ba'avri pesachim birchas hamitzvahs time mai mishom hoida. What's the whole point? Is because it's the hoida he ha nami kula hodahi. So it's all hoida of this is the birchas mitzvah. So it's like so why do you make the chatima? Because it's like kedusha. Kevin de beloshin kedusha he kekadish hayom. So this is a bit of a strange, at least on the surface understanding of the Rashi. This says kodosh, that says kodosh. Therefore, they're the same. Therefore, we put the chatim in both of them. Tosfos just say eino nira. That pshat in Rashi is eino nira. Ki hatam de bahahi chatima mishom di yesh ba hefsek agon ki hu yom techilus. So there's a hefsek lekroi kodesh. So therefore you have different inyanim going on in that bracha. So therefore you make a chatima. So the first question is, is this Birchas Kidushin and Birchas Mitzvah? So there's a long rosh which deals with many of the issues. So this is the rosh from Ksuvos. It goes into the Zinyan. It's quite a long one, but we'll go through it. So Amar Rav Nachman, Amar li Yehuna, Menen lebrachas chatam shibasara, Shemar yikach Boaz. So you have the very Shmuel Hanagid, Nechach alav Amar she'ein sarach ten. So again, we have this question as to whether we did this last time as to whether the birchas, we saw that birchas chatanim need 10. Does birchas Kidushin need 10? Ele birchas chatanim bovad, so that we said we don't need 10. But hooray, Kidushin bifnei beis. So we have this and. So how can you need 10 if Kidushin is 10? But you need there the Rav Achai, the Lamai Lafina Maboyas, Ray Boyas also Gam Berchos Erison. So Boyas also did the Erison, so you did them together. So Maim Mevarchin. Yeah. So in full of mitzvahs, lefisha maskina nasiyas ha-mitzvah, v'archan alaya oiver la asiyos. So yesh shekavta, those are right, that you need to do it acher erusim. You have to do it acher erusim. So again, we just said that the way that we do it is that we make the bracha, and then we do the Kidushin. The Kidushin is mikudeshesly. But those who say you need to do it after the Erisim. Why? Dilma hadraba ha'isha b'havila bracha levatala. So you have bracha levatala because you're making a bracha on a mitzvah of Kidushin, and maybe you say Heres mikudeshesly, and she says no, I'm not going to do it. So therefore you have to do it. Maybe a hadraba, so you have to do it after. You have to make the bracha afterwards. V'od shebechol hamitzvahs shechol mitzvah lefisha maskira nasiyas hamitzvah mevarchan le'oiver la'asiyas yasan. That you have to do it. Again, you make the you do it. That's to do it beforehand. V'alkan ein mevarchan l'shekirishon l'kadesha isha. So this we don't say l'shekirishon l'kadesha isha. V'kevan she'ein maskina nasiyas hamitzvah ein tzarich levarach oiver la'asiyasan. So they're saying that usually you have to do it oiver la'asiyasan. But here you have to do it afterwards. Even though most mitzvahs you do it. So again, before you take the lulav, you make the bracha on the lulav, and then you take the lulav. So you do the bracha on a mitzvah beforehand. But since we don't, the text of the bracha is not like the text of a normal mitzvah, so therefore we don't have to do it beforehand. So that's their shita. So what do we make the bracha? Asher Kidushin misasavitzivano al arayis v'asulano esaritsurus v'atilano esanusus al yechub v'Kidushin rachman kadesh v'nagu ha'idna mekadesh Yisrael al yidei yechub v'Kidushin. Ish makshim al nusach bracha zu. Lama ein mevarchan shekidushin misasavitzivano kadesh as isha. That's question number one. I see a bracha anything like this. So God ushered something to us, and we're going to make a bracha that God ushered us something. So that when you're doing shechita, you don't say that you ushered us the ever menachai. What are we talking about arayis? We're getting married here, doing Kidushin. We're talking about arayis and bracha and mitzvahs. Because this is given Sheva Mevarach and Brachot Erisim, but base Erisim below chuppah. So this is the Kidushin we're talking about chuppah here. This is not a bracha to make mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah bracha. Ki para v'rabia v'hayinu kayim a mitzvah. Because the mitzvah is para v'rabia v'im lekach plegesh v'kayim para v'rabia eina mechayev l'kadesh isha. So if you the Rosh here is holding that you can have a pelegesh, and if you have a pelegesh and you do peruvia with her, therefore you never do the Kidushin the chuppah, therefore you can do the mitzvah peruvu, and therefore the Kidushin can't be a mitzvah because the mitzvah is peruvu, and you can do the mitzvah peruvu without Kidushin. How? Through a pelegesh. Therefore, this is not a mitzvah. V'kein hanasi zakana, if you marry someone who's old, or lanos, or akara, these people can't have children, so therefore there's no mitzvah in the Kidushin, therefore you can't say al mitzvah Kidushin. So as Chama Shanasa, so somebody who himself can't do it, so therefore they do the Brachot Katan Ein Chiyuv mitzvah zu she'ein ba kiyum mitzvah per ravia, and therefore lo nitkana barachos ba mitzvah zu. So therefore we don't have a takana of a mitzvah zu. But if you noise isha l'shem per riyuva, kevin she'efshar l'kayim mitzvah per riyuva below kedushin, below dami l'shachita she'ein mechuyev l'shchatet v'lacho. So is that even if you marry someone to do the mitzvah per ruvu, since you could have done it without this, so therefore there's no bracha on it, and bracha zu is not going to take shevach ala kadosh baruch hu. So this isn't a bracha mitzvah; it's a bracha shevach. Asher Kidushin misasav, and you separated us from the nations, and you commanded us to mekadosh a woman that is mutter for us, and not to delve into the arayas. And we masker the iser or the rusas v'hater and nesuyas b'chuppah of Kidushin shelo, so that we won't make a mistake and say that the bracha of Kidushin is in order to matter us, that we are zoike to the chuppah, to say that davka the birchos chuppah is the materis of the kala, and therefore we have to say the chuppah in order so we don't make the mistake and think that the bracha itself is the whole heter. Nami hakdimu chuppah lekadushin, to say v'hatalanu was nesuyas alidei chuppah she'acher birchos kedushin. So the Rosh here is holding that it is shevach. It's a mitzvah shevach, and since it's a mitzvah shevach, so we have to be clear here. If it's let's have a look at the Rambam here. So who's making the bracha? It's the Kol HaMekadosh. The Mekadosh has to make the Birchos Kidushin. Koidim HaKidushin. So again, he's arguing on that. On the Rosh is brought down. He says the Kidushin is what we do. Who or Shlucho v'achar kach Mekadosh, and after them we do the Kidushin. Kederach shemavarach and Koidim Kol HaMitzvahs. The Rambam is holding that the mitzvahs, that the Birchos Kidushin is the Birchos mitzvah. There it says Rambam bang Birchos mitzvah. Since the Birchos mitzvah, then the Mekadosh has to do it. So just like you make the bracha on your lulav, and every time you do a mitzvah, you make the bracha, not somebody else. So says the Rambam, since it's a bracha, it's a mitzvah. Kol Mekadosh has to make the mitzvah, because the Kidushin is a mitzvah. It's a brachas mitzvah. V'im kidesh v'lo birech lo yiberech achar Kidushin. So it's a bracha levatala. So since it's a bracha on the Kidushin, you can't do it afterwards. So the fact that we do it beforehand is because we're holding that it's a mitzvah. It's a brachas mitzvah. Yeah. So if you don't do the Kidushin, yes, so the Rambam is holding, since it's a brachas mitzvah, you don't say the brachas Kidushin beforehand, you missed it because the bracha mitzvah. Just like if you shake your lulav and then you don't make a bracha because you've done your mitzvah already. You have to do the mitzvah over l'siyasa. So you have to do it beforehand. If you miss it. Ma shenasa kavar nasa. It's done. You can't make a mitzvah now. The bracha is on the mitzvah over l'siyasa, and therefore if you miss it, you miss it. The Rambam is holding it's a mitzvah. Therefore the Rambam holds it. You have to say it. So the Ravid Sarach Levarek Koidim Kedushin or Hu or Shliach Amar Avraham Ein Anu Oimrim Kain Ela Mekadesh Ve'achar Kach Mevarach. So the Ravid here arguing, he says no, we Mekadesh and then we do the bracha. The time because Shehadavet Tulei B'das Acherim, because maybe the woman's going to say no, and even if she doesn't say no, it's still Tuli in her das. She could still say no. She'im Timshach Isha V'lo Tirtze Lekabal Harei Hebracha Levatala. So that we have that by that the father makes the bracha of because we're medamin it to the Mila. So here, according to the Rambam, so we have the question then, according to the Rambam, that since it's a brachas a mitzvah, so then the chassan should say it. Now, does the chassan say this bracha? So according to the mitzvah, again, we do it, but for the reason we do it beforehand is because we're doing it like it's afterwards. And the Rosh is mashman that we do it afterwards. have a look at the Taz here, V'keinu Hagen. That's here in the Shulchan Aruch. Kulam Kadosh Isha, Ben Adil Asma, Ben Adil Shaliach, Mevarech. So here, this is the so the Beis Shmuel, he says, Da'acher Mevarech, Shelo Levash Mi She'ein Yodea Levarech, Ve'im Lecha Acher Levarech Achata. So the reason that someone else blesses is because we don't want to embarrass the Chatan. So really the Chatan should say it, because it's a brachas mitzvah. The reason he doesn't say it is because we don't want to embarrass someone who doesn't know the bracha, and if there's no one else, then therefore he would say it. The Taz, Kasav Rishal, Hatam She'ein Chatan Mevarach Shelo Levaish Mi She'ein Yodea. Became Bekiris Torah, Gam Ken Eina Oila Koira Eila Hashatz Mishum High Time. So that we have the same idea. We don't want to embarrass people. That's why it doesn't make the bracha. But seemingly, like make a din, the Chatan should be making the bracha. So now here in the Aruch HaShulchan, Aval Birkas Erusin ain't Asar Miyakava, so you don't need 10 Kamasha Kasav. Dehi Birkas Mitzvah. So here you see Aruch HaShulchan, he's basking it's a Birkas Mitzvah. Kechol Birkas Mitzvah, Aval Lechatchila Gam Sham Sarach Asar. Also Kamasha Kav Shlosha Evshar. Yachim Shlosha Mitchilim Liot Chatan Vishnei Edi Kidushin. So here we say that according to the the Aruch HaShulchan, it's also holding that it's a Birkas Mitzvah. So we have a maklokas if it's a Birkas Mitzvah or not, which comes out again in Nafkaminas. Now here the Rebbe Kiveger brings down that near Beinai that Charish, somebody who can't hear, she'ena shomea, she'noisa chareshes, she'ena shomas, ein levarach klal. So why would you not make any brachas at all for these people? That if it is a mitzvah tzvach, then anybody can make the mitzvah tzvach. If it's a birchas mitzvah, then whoever's doing the mitzvah, that's who the bracha is for. The bracha is for the person doing the mitzvah. So therefore, at the time under the chuppah, the Kidushin, you are making the bracha for the chatan and the kala. So the Kidushin is making the bracha to be moitzi the chatan, because it's his mitzvah that he's doing, and he's making this bracha on the mitzvah which he's doing. Therefore, the Masada Kidushin be moitzi the chatan. The chatan should have kavana to be moitzi with this bracha, and really the chatan himself should be saying it, but it's just to not embarrass people who don't say it, just like as we do by Kriyas Torah, that not everyone gets the call up reads. So, if you have a cheresh, someone who can't hear, and he marries a cheresh is someone who can't hear. So both the chatan and the kala both can't hear. So then, what's the point in making the bracha? You're being moitzi the chatan and the kala, but chatan and the kala can't hear the bracha. Therefore, don't make the bracha, says the Rebbe Kiveger, because it's a brachas a mitzvah, and the brachas a mitzvah you can't be you have to be moitzi the chatan and the kala. So for the brachas Kidushin, you do the mitzvah beforehand. That's why we do it beforehand, because you're doing it on your mitzvah. The Masada Kidushin is being moitzi the chatan and the kala, and therefore you have to drink the wine before you do it. So you have to drink the wine before you do it, so you'll have the courage in order to say res mekudeshesly. So we have a question that if you do the Kidushin, or you do the Sheva brachos at the time of Nisuin, do you repeat the Sheva brachos also at the time of the chuppah? So you've already done them at the time of the Kidushin. So do you repeat them? So here the Tosfos Rid deals with the question. Nearly Shekevin Shabirach Zayin brachos Mishas Erusin. So that's again you did the Sheva brachos, not the Kidushin. You did Sheva brachos at the time of the Kidushin. Aser od levarach b'shah nesuin. So you can't do it at the time of nesuin. Havi lehu bracha levatala. You've already done it, so therefore it's bracha levatala. Inami yishlamar mishom afushi simcha. Maybe because of the extra simcha. V'kol ma'ashem brachim b'tok zayin yomim ha-chatuna ein ba mishom bracha levatala. So since you do the Sheva brachas for like 7 days afterwards, so therefore there's no bracha levatala there, and there's a fushi simcha. And therefore, at the time of the actual chatana, at the time of the nusuin, there is a fushi simcha, and therefore we should do it there. The second svara is kind of overpowering, so I'm not sure the svara of the first one. There, Tosfos would be saying anyway that you do this because again there is a difference between the Sheva brachas under the chuppah and the Sheva brachas at the meal, but we'll see that later.